Hi, Mary Pat.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So what's going on?
Well, I made this appointment um, because um, it's a little bit twofold. And basically, have been looking for a job, doing kind of looking at a career transition. And I've never felt fully comfortable in my career. I'm in finance, financial advisement. And I started a job search in really kind of heavy duty last September. And I just have not been successful at all. I know there's a pandemic and everything, but I really have really, really low self esteem around my current job and the job search. And it's when I said it was kind of twofold. And I also am like having trouble just kind of finding my purpose um, in work and even outside of work. Like I feel I am like lacking purpose and direction. And it's been really, really challenging. And I've been very, very weepy about it. Um, I cry. But so I know there's a pandemic going on. I'm good. I think I'm okay at my job. I'm not the best. I'm not like a Harvard graduate or anything. I don't have a finance background, but I show up every day and I work pretty hard, more or less. But um, I feel like there might be something better out there for me, but I just feel like I'm always like, what's it like a square peg in a round hole type of a situation.
Yeah.
And it's been really, just really challenging lately where I've just been asking kind of out to the universe, like, why? And
Yeah.
then I also ask, like, is it even possible in any career that I'd be happy? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this
Sure.
me or is it both or is it the job situation?
Yeah.
And I've already made a giant career change from education to this current job. And I just,
How long ago was that?
it was about 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago. So I gave up like a really good paying job with benefits. And now I have this financial job. I work for a financial advisor, senior partner. And I make fine money. I'm supporting myself. I have a home. It's fine. I don't have like a lot of luxuries, and I definitely am not making what I made at my other job. But I'm in it like a little too deep
Just mentally, correct?
mentally and intellectually.
Right, right, but not financially. Like you're
Uh,
not in too deep in over your head where you're financially in trouble.
no,
Or
no, no,
right,
I'm not. No,
right. But
no.
yeah, I
And I'm
understand.
not gonna get fired. Like there's no like I work for a man who he's not gonna he would rather find tasks at work that work for me rather than fire me. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, that's good.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Um,
sounds like to me you have this vocational thing, that this career vocation that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, that has kind of been hanging over you for kind of your life.
yeah, absolutely. Since forever. Yes, I have not felt like I have been in a vocation that has made me happy or that I have direction or that I have felt I belong. Even though I've done in education, I did well. I have a few degrees in it, but I honestly I hated it so much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's been really challenging, and I've been thinking a lot about volunteering and what I could do. Like if there's something I could do there that would bring me hope and purpose and meaning. Um, but I get because I have to use so much of my energy at work
Hmm.
I get really tired, after work. So
So, let me ask you this. When you transition from education to finance, talk about your feelings when you finally made that change to finance. Was there any fulfillment there? Like, what were you feeling at that time? Because I'm just wondering, that was a big move for you.
it was.
You were looking for something. And I'm just wondering at that time, if you can even remember, when you got into that different position away from education, which you did not like,
Right.
you know, maybe you could kind of explore those feelings then, because you did mention that you didn't. It
I
still
know that's,
didn't make a
yeah.
difference. But
That's so interesting that you asked that question because um there is a little bit of a pattern there, even just with the two jobs. When I went into education, I didn't, and I know you asked about the finance job, but just to kind of mirror, when I went into education, I actually did not want to go into education, but I was in too deep. Like was just finishing college. I had the college degree, um, the undergraduate degree. I needed to get a job to like move out of my mom and dad's, so I just felt like there really was no other choice. But when I was student teaching, I knew I actually tried to quit school. I spoke to the woman in charge of the program about leaving the student teaching program. I was like, this is not for me. And she was like, just finish, just get the degree. Like you're almost done. You don't have to be. But then it was like, once I had the degree, you're in even deeper, and my parents had expectations and I would have gotten in big trouble. You know what I mean? Even though I was in my early 20s. So I really did not know I had another choice to not do that, even though I was so young. You just don't know. When you're older, you look back, hindsight's 2020. But what's so interesting is when I left education, I had like a few years that were kind of like gap years where I ran through all my money and I had a few jobs, some retail, some full-time jobs that just didn't work out. I was just trying to get to the next thing. And I studied for these exams, these financial exams. And I took the Series 7 twice and I failed at both times. So then I took the Series 6, and like a lot of people do, like I don't even really have hard feelings about that. I took the Series 6, passed it, and my senior partner still brought me into the practice. And like I I had built a relationship by that point, and I just, even though I felt inept to go into this job and I felt like I was in over my head, I really was feeling a little desperate. Like I was like, I need a job. You know what I mean? I have to do this. Like I've already done all this studying. This guy's waiting for me, blah, blah, blah. Education, cut to 13 years later, I finally got a career coach, left education. Here I am 8 years later in this job.
right.
And I also had a professional coach last fall who I've been working through, and they're like, let's find your creative self. And I
Mhm.
love all that stuff, but I'm like, well, let's do that. But like, let's also look for like a job
Yeah.
that I feel like I'm a fit for. That was probably way more than you had asked for. I over answered your
No,
question.
no. And what's interesting is that you have done the work,
Yeah.
and yet you feel this insecurity and this emptiness that's been around for a very long time. Is that, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
can you talk about, you were saying your parents um, would not allow it, or they would have disowned you. I don't remember the way you said it. What was that all about?
Well, I would have been in big trouble. I mean, my parents were, and my dad's still alive, but my parents were, um, well, I guess there's a couple things I could say about that. One is like a lot of people would understand if you say like, the blue collar mentality. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like get up every day, work hard, get your pension. And I
Right.
remember my mom saying like, but you'll have a pension, like you need to do this, which by the way, I don't now because I left education and I took that. Um, but it was like there were threats. I mean, not listen, they did the best they could. And by threats, I mean, we put you through college. And my mom did. She paid for my college. Believe me, she let me know every single day. And that's why, like, that had something to do with it. It was like, God, she told me all the time, like, I work to get you through college.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not what it is today. But
So you felt obligated to.
yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally,
I
totally.
get that.
And it's like, I don't think they would have allowed it. I mean, honestly, like, I wasn't in a position to cut off my parents at that point in my life. Like, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
It was just like, you better get a job. Like, send your resumes out. Remember, you used to like mail all these resumes out and stuff. And, it was like, I thought I had to do that. So I haven't like let go of that. And there's just always, 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 always been financial fear in my life. Always, period.
Mhm.
Period. And it's funny because if I would have done what I wanted to do, which I don't know what that is, I'm always searching for that. I think I've buried that so far down, it's hard to decipher. I probably would have done really well financially,
Right.
but it's like it's getting kind of late. I'm
Well,
49. It's
well,
like,
I don't know about that, but yeah, that's a
wow.
projection, right?
Yeah.
So you, I mean, what I'm hearing is that you want to kind of work on this low self-esteem and this emptiness that kind of goes along with your vocation. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, we don't have to solve why, right?
Right.
But and when we met before, you did mention you've been sober for quite a while.
Yeah.
Eh, eh,
16 years.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's great. So how is the sobriety going with this conundrum of your vocation?
It's fine. It is fine. I am sober. I don't crave alcohol. I don't want alcohol. The one thing I do want is like to escape these feelings of like shittiness,
Mhm.
and just feeling down. And every once in a while, like I'll get really resentful where I'm just like, here I am, 16 years sober, and like I'm in the same conundrum. And I'm in AA, and sometimes I get resentful because I hear people, oh, the promises are so great, and my life has changed so much, and blah blah blah. I'm making literally probably like $35,000 less than I would be if I stuck in education, but I would have been miserable. I wouldn't. There's no way I could have stayed.
Yeah.
But it's like I hear people talking about how their lives have changed because of the promises and stuff like this. And I'm grateful I'm sober. There's no doubt about it. But I'm like, what is this for other than just not being a drunk? You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
like, so I do get kind of resentful. Like I can't have anything in my life because I have issues with food too. Um, I have to abstain from, sugar, blah, blah, blah. Um, so I do get resentful. It's like, just throw me a line,
Right.
like to the universe. Do you know what it's like? I feel I work very hard at being a good person. And I'm quirky, I know that, but like I just wish the situation would work out just a little bit. I don't have children, so that's most likely because of my alcoholism was at a high during those years when I could have been building a relationship and
Yeah.
planning for children, and I didn't do that. Um, and so it's like I kind of feel like, well, I don't have kids, I'm not married. Uh, you know, I should be able to have a career that I want,
Right.
and I just don't. I just don't. Um,
And, and what we had talked before about when you were getting sober and you kind of acknowledging your obsession with drinking,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so you're an AA. Everyone knows that obsessing is a big part of why uh, you can't stop drinking. Um, is there? I mean, can you talk about a connection maybe that an obsession may have moved to a different part of your life when the drinking isn't around anymore?
Well, it definitely did move towards food. So that was a thing, and like body image and stuff. But like, are you saying like, did it move to like me obsessing over not liking my job?
Or obsessing over being insecure or not being smart enough? Or again, I'm not putting words in your mouth,
Right.
but when we began this, you had mentioned a few of those things that are really bothering you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to face them. It's another thing to maybe take a look at if it's an obsession.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's all real. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. It's all real. It's just, again, you know, growing up the way you did in your household, struggling with sobriety, and then finally getting this 16 years, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the way we thought when we were drinking doesn't go away. You know, maybe your career was easier when you were drinking because you were
Oh my
kind of
God.
obsessed.
Yeah, it was so grandiose too.
You were obsessing over your next drink,
Mhm.
not over your job.
Mhm.
But now the drink is gone, and you continue to strive towards excellence in your career. You're it looks like you're having trouble on what direction to go. Am
Yeah.
I on track at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
I definitely, I have to do like a lot of positive affirmations and like talk my stuff, talk myself out of it. Um, um, but I think like I just wish I could find something. I wish here's what I obsess about. I obsess over like I want to find the perfect thing out there. And it doesn't even have to be perfect. It does not. Just something that like I really like. I make decent money.
yeah,
And I feel like it's a fit for like my capability level, my
what
skill set, my personality.
what's the closest you ever came to that that dream being fulfilled?
Oh, that's a good question. Jeez, I don't know. I don't know.
You
I
know,
really,
did you ever do a values
yeah,
evaluation?
I
Yeah,
have. Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, is
yeah.
finances or work in your top five?
It came up, but at that time I was like really obsessed with money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like
right.
it comes up, but and listen, and I know so much more about money now than I ever did.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think I'd be where I am financially if I even though I made more money. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But a lot of that came up, a lot of just like helping people and um yeah, I have all of that stuff. I should take it back out or try to find it. I've done that stuff like multiple times. But it's like I guess like where I'm feeling really caught up too is I say can't, but at this time it just would not be a good solution to like go back to school and get a whole new degree. It's like again, I'm in so deep,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
What's
hard.
interesting too is the fact that you started out with insecurities, and then in this story you're telling me, you, I mean, you have multiple degrees in education,
I know.
changed fields. You have like professional certifications in the finance field, like this. So being smart is not in the cards here. That we know that you're smart, right?
Well, no, I mean, I will argue that. I know that's like people say that to me all the time. I know I have a level of intelligence and I'm
Right.
capable. I know that. But I'm talking about like I met with a woman and networked with her this week and she had like a business degree for University of Chicago. She ran this company called Bluestone, which is out in Lisle actually. Um and I was talking to her just about like insurance opportunities and stuff like this and she literally like there are people out there who it's like pick a job and do it. Like you're gonna be able to retain it and learn it. I'm not saying you would like any job, but like I'm a different kind of a learner. I'm a different kind of communicator.
Yeah.
I am like, I know that. And I'm not like one of these finance people. I'm not, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right.
So there are just like, there are different levels. And I mean, and I will argue this till like the day I die. Like, there are people out there who have a level of intelligence, they could do whatever they want, you know? And like, work is not the core stressor in their life. This is my interpretation.
Of
And
course.
yeah. So, um, so sometimes I wish I had a brain like that where I could just do the work and not sweat over the work.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just lost my way and I just don't know how to, you know,
But it seems like you feel in vocation you lost your way
yeah.
when you were like a
I never
kid.
found it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
never got to that.
Yeah.
There's a,
Yeah.
I don't even remember if this is the correct title of the book, but there's like a book out there that's men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti,
Oh,
and it's about compartmentalizing.
yeah.
Men tend to compartmentalize like family, work, friends, love, trust, all these different values in different parts of the waffle.
Yeah.
And women, again, this is a generalization, please. Uh, it's like spaghetti. Their work and their love and their friendships and their family, it all is a spaghetti ball. It all goes together.
Yeah.
And, and it sounds to me too, like, uh, even though you're, you know, having these doubts about work, you don't allow the other compartments of your life to bring you like better confidence to
Right.
go into work knowing that you have all of these things going on, and you could go forward with work to do whatever you want to do. And if it doesn't make you happy, you can move to another field, and it doesn't matter how much time is left. It doesn't, none of it matters. It's just
Right.
that you have, I mean, you've explained to me many times how much your friends and your family and your partner and all of these things, your program, right? Your
Yeah.
all of, sponsor, all these great things in your life. Um, and how those aren't in a spaghetti bowl with your, right, with your vocation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
it's like the vocation separate. So and again, I'm not, you know, because I've
It's good.
talked about this with many people, men seem to be those guys that compartmentalize.
Yeah.
And I know we're trying to get to the bottom here of, how we can find a solution, or how, I will help you to find a solution
Yeah.
to, how we can, start working on this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
narrowed down what it is you're trying to do. We just have to start with, like, what's the plan? What's the next steps?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Um, so, because we're kind of running out of time,
Yeah.
where do we go from here? And again, I just want to hear what you're thinking. What's your wish list of? I mean, you're in a job now, and you've been interviewing.
Yeah.
Uh, is the places you've been interviewing, do you feel that those are really a good fit for you?
They're a better fit. They're a better fit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I fantasize about like working like at Trader Joe's and Costco and like where I could like be on my feet and be physically active. Um, but I mean, I'm not in a position to do that right now. Just financially, that I wouldn't be able to um, keep up my side of the bargain. But but I do fantasize about that a lot. But I am looking, and the jobs that I'm looking for, I think, are a better fit. I know that they would be a better fit for me as far as like what I want to do, my capability level, and stuff like that. Um, so, but that idea of like a wish list, that's a good idea. I've never done that before, like creating a wish list.
And
Um,
when you create your wish list, do you leave out positions that use your creativity?
See, that is where I get stuck. I really don't know like what that would be. Do you know what I mean? Like I have worked so hard in the past with like career coaches and um, personal coaches. That continues to be exploration for me. Like, what do you think you'd be able to do? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Like,
even
could you,
spiritual coaches.
yeah, well, what I was thinking too is, have you ever considered, and again, this is, I'm pulling this out of nowhere, like a job in marketing, where you get to use your creativity and you're part of the structure and you work with good people, and it's a totally different job, because
Right.
with marketing, it is very hard to measure the results of marketing. But it's half business and it's half creativity,
Yeah.
you see.
Yeah.
So, again, there just seems to be so many options out there. So when
Yeah.
you do, when you do make this wish list that we can talk about next time, think about, expand, out of your,
Yeah.
expand out of your waffle grid, right?
Yeah.
And see if, and we'll talk next time about like how we're going to make a plan to make all that happen. And I know, I mean, you have a coach, and I'm here more for your emotional and for you come to me to so you can have more
Yeah.
emotional stability, and work on your low self-esteem, and we'll go over that. But I just think, for now,
Right.
maybe have that wish list, and then we kind of try and look at why you think some of these things on your wish list may be impossible,
Right.
and
Right.
why you have emotions towards that, or thoughts why that won't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the sky, as far as a wish list, like the sky is the limit.
Yeah. As
It
we
doesn't
wrap
mean
up,
doesn't mean I have to transition into that job, you know.
yeah. As we wrap up,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this? Um, what we've gone over today. Do you feel there was anything missed? Is there any? I mean, I don't want you to walk out and say he wasn't hearing me. He wasn't listening to me, right?
No, no, you
If
for
I,
sure were hearing me. Yeah.
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 Okay.
No, and you brought some things up that like I was like, huh, maybe, yeah, you know. But no, I think also just like the reminder of like the pattern. Um I don't want to do like one of my fears is and this session brought this up for me again is like don't just switch jobs to go into another job that is not for me. And fear will drive me right to that. So I have to like, I have some things to overcome to be able to truly find like something that works for me, you
Well, Mary
know?
Pat, that's why I keep using the word vocation,
Yeah.
not profession,
Right.
right? Because people can have any kind of profession. It doesn't mean that it works for them. But a vocation is,
Right.
right. You're fulfilling the business side of it, and the,
Right. Good word. I'm going to write it down. Vocation. Vocation.
it's almost like there's the business side, the financial side, which gives you financial stability,
Hmm.
and then the emotional support side, where you're doing something that makes you feel good about yourself.
Right.
Okay.
Vocation. It's very close to vacation.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to our next meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Should I leave or do you just stop recording?
I